Welcome back to Jonathan Green Black Beauty Solar Green grass seed review. It's been exactly 2 months. Today's November the 11th. I planted this yard September the 11th of 2021. So 2 months exactly. And I got good news and bad news. Actually, the grass looks pretty darn good compared to my experience last year with that slow growing grass. I'll probably be cutting this grass today or tomorrow. That'll be the 6th time since I seeded it back September the 11th. And I'm really happy about that. It really came up fast. Unfortunately, I have quite a bit of clover coming in here. Up until June the 6th of 2021, I had a service who would come out and kill all this emergent grass. But my grass seed had just gotten, my grass seed experiment had gotten so bad that I didn't see the need to put chemicals down on a bare yard. So I just waited till late summer to till all this stuff up. I have not put any chemicals, any kind of herbicide on there since I started this project. So I figured I'd go ahead and give the grass a chance to do its thing, and then I'll worry about these weeds in the spring. Except for just a few minutes per day, this entire yard is shrouded in shade. That is east, that direction. That is west. And the sun never comes on this side of my property. It always hangs up behind all these trees back there, no matter what time of day. So I do get shadows. Plus I have the shadow from the house. But it seems that it still grows out here as long as I don't have a shady thing real close to the yard. In other words, those trees behind my house may throw shade out here, but the grass doesn't seem to mind that. But anytime I get close to a tree or a shed or something that's producing shade right in the immediate area, I don't have good success with this grass. Give you an example. Back here I do get some sun coming through the trees, but I have grass growing there. But as soon as I get to this spot, and I apologize, I just used my Sun Joe to scarify this yard this morning, but because I have this shade real close to it, this grass, it will come up, but after a week or two, it just disappears. I'm just deducing that it's the shade that's causing this problem. I really don't know for sure. Down here where I have a lot of leaves because I have trees right overhead, it did not do too well. So I'm reseeding today in this area. But as you can see out here where it's a little bit open, it looks wonderful for something just 2 months old, start to finish, 2 months old. I got big hopes for this. The other comment I want to make is that even though the bag on this Solar Green says does well in shade, I'd say it does mediocre in shade. It can't be real dense shade. And it doesn't wear very well. In an earlier video, I showed you all the hoses I had stretched out into my front yard where I didn't have to walk on it when I was doing my irrigation. And that worked out great. I've got all my hoses picked up because I'm taking my Ram pump up today. Wintertime's around the corner. But you can see where I've walked right along the edge of my yard, and it's affected the grass. So maybe once it gets established, that won't be a problem. But when it's a young type grass, baby grass, if you walk on it, you're going to damage this grass. I ran out of grass seed. That Solar Green, I don't have any more of that. I wanted to overseed some of those bare areas. So I had a bag of this Black Beauty Ultra left over from last year. or maybe the year before. I've used it before. And that's what I overseeded with this morning in those couple of areas, maybe 600 square feet. So we'll see how the Black Beauty does. It's getting late in the year, November the 11th. But this Black Beauty Ultra contains perennial ryegrass. It comes up fast and does well in the cold weather. So maybe this will help balance out the looks of my yard. I know that the perennial rye will not make it through next summer. I've already been down that road before. But for now, that's the plan. So overall, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing so far. And I'll probably do another update midwinter just to let you know, did it stay green or did it fade out like most fescues do in the winter. Being a young grass, it may stay green this winter. And after that, in the spring, we'll definitely take another look at it. That's when I have a growth spurt in this area of North Carolina, March and April. Usually my yard goes crazy that time of year. Okay, thanks for watching. This is a PS. It's still September the 11th, 2021. And even though I signed off this morning, now the sun is in a different position. I think maybe you can get a better look at my yard. My camera is just a cheap $40 thing I bought years ago. And when the sun's shining too bright, it just doesn't do right. But anyhow, I think you'll agree that this solar green is really beautiful. I really like it in this area. Give you a shot downstream, and you can see the trail line mentioned earlier today, you know, where I walk between my porch and my car and trim my bushes this week. So it's not quite as rich as that. And I have a lot of leaves here. But anyhow, you know, excuse me. Let me just say this about that. Anytime you want to just take your yard down to bare dirt and decide to, like, hey, we're going to do a whole new experiment here, there's risk involved. I've done it almost a dozen times, and it's scary. If I had to offer one piece of advice, it would be, hey, first time you're thinking about changing what you have, just overseed. Just overseed the thing and see how it goes. And if it's a good grass, it may survive, you know, that first year. And then you can think about bumping it up a little bit. But it's really hard when you start with bare dirt and you're just depending on that seed to send something strong enough to, you know, survive a rainstorm or a kid or a deer running across your yard. But this solar green, hey, if it makes it through the summer, I'm sold. But if you're, you know, if you're familiar with my website, with my YouTube site, you know that it never happens. You know, comes the end of July, 1st of August, this is back to bare dirt normally. But I got a good feeling about this grass here. Came up great, and but it's not, I don't know how to describe it. It's like not the most impressive grass I ever grew in the beginning, but maybe it's going to be like, you know, just a stray dog you find. Might be the smartest thing and the strongest thing you ever own. So we'll see. Okay, signing off. Thanks.